Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to Toe Tags Metal Reviews, and today we're giving you guys our first impressions of the new Behemoth, Electric Callboy, and the Devil Wears Prada albums. Behemoth, Devil Wears Prada, and Electric Callboy, formerly known as Eskimo Callboy. They changed their name.
That's not a Mandela effect.
It's not.
I thought it was at first. I was like, there's no way this was not Eskimo Callboy. I have to look this up.
I was a bit confused as well. I'm like, wait, isn't there a band called Eskimo Callboy? What? And I realized, oh, okay, they're the same band. Okay, they changed the name. That's fair. Understandable. So, what'd you start with? What do you want to start with?
I started with Electric Callboy. Techno.
Ooh, techno.
So, techno with 2 Ks.
All caps.
So, pretty short album. 30 minutes.
Really?
30 minutes and 30 minutes and 30 seconds or something like that.
It did not feel that short.
It's very short.
It did not feel like 30 minutes.
So we've listened to this band, but we reacted to them 1 or 2 times. 1 time maybe?
I think twice.
Yeah.
Or did we do Hypa? I don't know if we reacted to that or not.
Whatever.
I know we reacted to Hate Love, and neither of us like that song, but that song is not on this album.
I think Hypa we did. But anyways. This is a fun band. They're catchy, they're like I said, they're fun, it's like a party band. You know, they got some energy to them. So yeah, this album comes on and I'm like, yeah, this is good. You turn it up, you fucking enjoy it. Is it really heavy metal? Is it, you know, it's got some core elements to it, but I really wouldn't call this metal. It's really on that precipice of being metal or not being metal. I would lean towards no. Adding that coreness in there helps, but for the most part, this is pop with techno involved, because basically what this is to me, it's like if you took like Power Man 5000 from like the early 2000s and you smash them with the Backstreet Boys, then that's what you get. And Power Man 5000 is, I guess you can call them new metal, or maybe
like on the industrial
electronic
side.
Industrial metal, something like that. But they're also kind of, you know, a little bit poppy sounding. So yeah, it's catchy, it's fun. A couple songs stood out to me. It's number 7 and number 8, Parasite and Techno. Also like the first song, whatever, Push It, I think it was called. That was pretty good.
Or Pump It.
Pump It, sorry, yeah. So they're all pretty good. I heard some things that reminded me of other bands, like Parasite reminded me a bit of Billy Talent, which I liked Billy Talent a lot when they were big. And Techno Train, sorry, is track number 8. That reminded me a bit of the Bloodhound Gang. From whenever they were doing their thing. Anyways, it was a fun album, but I didn't love it, and I can't see myself ever wanting to really, you know, put it on and listen to it a lot. Maybe a track or 2 here and there for fun. But it was good. I turned it up, cranked the speakers, and it was enjoyable. It was a fun little ride.
Well, fun, I think, is the perfect descriptor for this album, because I had a lot of fun listening to it as well. I came in, like, I haven't heard this band in a while, since the last time we reacted to them, and when was that? You know, like, it's been a while. We've listened to tons of stuff since then.
Yeah.
So for some reason, the thing in my head is like, oh, this might be annoying. That was the kind of thing I was thinking of going into this album. And when I listened to Pump It, I'm like, okay, like, I guess fine. And then once We Got the Move started, I'm like, whoa, this album is actually kind of cool. This is kind of fun. Like, I'm liking this. So it's like, I like that song. And with every other song that came on, I'm like, oh, this is actually pretty cool. Well, this song too, and this one, and this one, and this one. So it's like, overall, I'm like, wow, this album's actually really fun, really cool. Like, I enjoyed it quite a bit. Whether it's through a riff, a chorus, or just whatever moment, like, almost every song has something about it that I like. I would still call it metal, but it's like a very industrial sense. They do a lot of wacky stuff, but it's like you can't listen to a song like Hurricane and not say this is a metal band for the second half of that song. It's a minute and a half. Yeah. The song goes from 0 to 100 just like that.
There's metal stuff there for sure.
Like, first half, it's all whatever
it's
soft.
On that tipping point.
And then they just throw down so hard in that song. I think it was hilarious. Like, when I heard that, it was so funny. So, honestly, very fun album, very funny album. Like, overall, I enjoyed it way more than I thought I would. So, I guess let's talk about Devil Wears Prada. What did you think of Color Decay?
Color Decay. So this band's been around for a long time. These guys are OGs. I've never gotten into Devil Wears Prada. I know there's a lot of fans out there and people love their shit.
I believe we covered them in an EP special once. If not, then we reacted to them.
Yeah, we might have touched on them once or twice on the channel before. This band is just way too emo sounding for me. That might not be the perfectly correct word as far as the genre goes, but the clean vocals, the clean singing is just too whiny for me, and it just totally takes me away from the sound. There was one song that I did like. It was number 3, Watchtower. It's just got that old metal school riffing going on. It's just really kind of felt nostalgic, this song. But the rest of the album, I didn't hate it. I mean, I listened to the whole thing. I thought, this is not bad. I don't despise this. But again, it's nothing that I would ever choose to put on. None of these songs are going to make it in my playlist. But I do get the appeal, and I do know that there's a huge audience out there for this kind of sound and this kind of music, and I know that's why this band is as popular as they are, and they've been around for a while. They got longevity behind them. So overall, the album was decent. I mean, I didn't hate it, like I said, but I didn't love it at all. It was okay.
Yeah, I too thought it was just like fine, but I found maybe a little bit more about it that I liked than you. I didn't really have an issue with the whiny kind of emo. I didn't really have any issues with that myself. That's more I guess, more so of a you thing.
That's a you problem.
But, first track kind of gave me the idea, like, okay, it's just kind of like another metalcore album. But I did like Watchtower quite a bit. Had a cool riff, good grooves. I like the bounce that it has. Like that, I enjoyed quite a bit. 25 is pretty interesting because, like, the music is sad, but you have these brutal vocals on top of it. So you kind of have like a juxtaposition of like, oh, this sad music, but this guy's screaming over it. I thought that was pretty interesting. But overall, like, it was fine. I didn't think it was anything special, but there was moments here and there I'm like, oh yeah, that's pretty good. But those 2 songs are mainly the ones that were notable for me. So, Opus Contra Naturam by Behemoth. What do you think?
Well, highly anticipated album from both of us. We reacted to a couple of their singles and loved them both. I thought this was a great album. I wasn't surprised, right? I thought there was a lot of good stuff here. The album starts with Post God Nirvana, which feels like an intro track, but it's pretty long for like an intro track.
But it doesn't feel as long.
It doesn't feel as long. It's
a good intro track.
It's very mood setting. It's very atmospheric setting, and it's very like tone setting for the album, which Behemoth is good at doing. But yeah, it's over 3 minutes long though, and it feels like it should be, a minute, but it doesn't. Like TV Fish said, it doesn't feel that long. So I like the way it starts. I'm not gonna go through everything. The standout tracks for me were Neo Spartacus, track number 5. The solo in this song is awesome. Behemoth is one of these bands that knows how to put this extra added flair in their solos that makes them stand out and makes them sound unique, and this song's a good example of that. Track number 6, Disinheritance, got some great drums at the beginning. And then track number 8 and 10. So 8 is Once Upon a Pale Horse, and 10 is Versus Christus, or Christus. Both of these songs have a weird sound to them that it sounds like Behemoth, but there's a different vibe to it. Like in track number 10, there's like a talking part in the beginning.
Yeah.
And it's not really something I've ever heard Behemoth do before, but it still overall sounds like Behemoth. Like it doesn't sound like they're straying too far from their path, but it's still something that's outside of their own comfort zone and something that's maybe experimental, which is always a welcome, addition when you're listening to a band that's been around for a while and you want to listen to music that doesn't just sound like everything they've done before. So those were 2 standout tracks for me as well for that reason.
So you feel like with this album, they're experimenting a bit better than they were with I Loved You at Your Darkest.
That's 100% true. I didn't even personally make that comparison, but you're right. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, they're doing at least a couple or a few little things that are making it sound like they're at least trying to be creative, which is something we love on this channel.
Well, I also thought this was a good album. Interesting you mentioned, we did react to the singles. There were 4 out of 10 tracks, and I found that to be a small problem.
Did we react to all 4 of them?
Yes.
I don't remember that. I remember 2 of them.
We reacted to Behemoth a lot, but the 4 singles, we actually did do all 4 of them.
Wow.
And I kind of thought to myself, like, I've heard almost half this album already. They made an EP that had those 4 tracks in it, so they essentially released half this album early, which kind of bugged me, because I'm like, you're spoiling half of your album already, you know?
Yeah.
Meaning you could come into this album being well-versed with almost half of it.
Arch Enemy did the same thing.
Yeah, they also had that problem. I think it might have even been worse for them. They might have had...
They had 5 singles, I think.
Yeah, it's a similar kind of issue. However, 2 of those singles, Off to War and... I forgot the name of... I think it was Die Becoming Eternal. Both of them still felt like I didn't feel like I was spoiled on them. Like the last 4 tracks really felt like they had the weight that I want Behemoth to have. When Behemoth is at their best, their music has a certain weight to it.
Yeah.
That it really feels like you're witnessing a giant satanic cult here doing who knows what.
It's true.
And I feel like those last 4 songs completely tapped into that, and that's what I want to see from this band. Otherwise, it was still good though. I enjoyed it, and I want to listen more. Like it's an album that I already enjoy, like the last chunk. So I'm sure the rest of it can probably just end up matching that, right? Now the intro track, like I said, it's 3 minutes, doesn't feel like it. And we've been talking quite a bit about interludes and intros lately.
Yep.
This is a good example of how to make a long intro, but it works. It sets the mood very well. It doesn't feel like I listened to something for 3 minutes. It feels like less than that.
Yeah.
So that's an example of how to do it right.
That's right. So, yeah, I think we're going to listen to Opus Contra Naturam
Yeah,
for the week.
for sure. Anyway, guys, that's all we got for you today. Remember to like this video. If you liked it, tell us in the comments below what do you think of these 3 albums or anything else that's dropped today. We love to hear what you guys have to say. And remember to subscribe if you guys are new to the channel. I'm TV Fish.
And I'm Vile Self.
And keep the horns up.